Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, The Intimacy Lab. Have you ever sat quietly after an intense conversation with a woman, feeling as though somehow your words didn't land the way you hoped? Maybe you felt invisible, or that your presence evaporated the moment she walked away, and you wondered, why doesn't she think about me later? Why doesn't she feel my absence as powerfully as I feel hers? You see, there's a language, a subtle magnetic language, that hive, Hal, you men speak. It's not about manipulation, clever tactics, or charm for charm's sake. It's about emotional precision, about speaking from a grounded place inside yourself, where confidence, mystery, and respect meet desire. A high value man doesn't just talk to a woman, he speaks through her emotions, leaving an imprint that lingers long after the conversation is over. His words don't beg for attention, they invite curiosity. His silences don't create awkwardness, they create space she yearns to step into. And the beauty of this is that it isn't about becoming someone else, it's about rediscovering a more intentional, centered version of you. A version that understands how presence and poise can make a woman miss you so much that your absence feels as intimate as your presence. Today, I want to take you deep into this intimate psychology and show you how you men speak in ways that make women ache for their attention even when they're gone. So let's settle in. Imagine for a moment you're standing face to face with a woman you're drawn to. Not just physically, but emotionally, intellectually, that deep magnetic draw that makes you feel as though time itself is softening around you. You speak, and yet you feel somehow that your words are being heard but not felt. This is where so many men begin to lose connection without even realizing it. Not because they don't care. In fact, many men in this situation care too much, desperately trying to find the right sentence, the perfect phrase to impress her, attract her, keep her interested. But here's a truth that almost no one talks about. It's not about impressing a woman with your words. It's about imprinting her with your presence, and presence is something every you man cultivates quietly, deliberately, almost like a fine art. When he speaks, there's a pause, a patience, a comfort in his own skin that invites her into a deeper space. His words aren't rushed or eager, they feel carefully placed, almost as if each sentence allows her imagination to breathe. This is the first quiet power, the ability to slow down the moment. Most men, when they're attracted to a woman, accelerate. Their words speed up, their energy pushes forward. They fill every gap in conversation with another joke, another story, another compliment. But a hive, you man, he does something quite different. He allows space between his words. His eye contact isn't searching, it's steady, inviting. His silences aren't awkward, they're intimate. Women feel this. They don't always articulate it, but they feel it in their body, in the slowing of their breath, in the way they lean in to fill that space. Imagine you're sitting with her over coffee. She speaks about her day, about her feelings, her opinions, and rather than reacting quickly, trying to fix, solve, or counter, you take a breath. You receive her words fully, then after that slight pause you respond from a place that feels centered. That L-I-N-S-T-E-N-I-N-G, but understanding, and a woman doesn't crave to be agreed with as much as she craves to be understood. The second quiet power I want to share is that a you man communicates value alignment rather than validation. Too often, men seek approval through their conversations. Do you think I'm interesting? Am I making you laugh enough? Do you like me? But what happens when you speak from a place of alignment instead? When your words reflect your standards, your boundaries, your deeper beliefs suddenly, you're not chasing her validation. You're offering an invitation into your world that is magnetic. For example, instead of saying, "Oh, you love that restaurant, I love it too," a high-value man might say, "That's interesting, I've never been drawn to that place, but tell me what you love about it. See the difference. You're not mirroring her to seek commonality. You're standing in your own taste, your own experience, but opening a door for her to share her passion. This subtlety creates polarity, and polarity creates attraction. Women remember men who hold their own shape, men who can remain in their center, even when they're fascinated by her. Because beneath all the performance and playfulness, what a woman truly seeks is this, a man who is deeply rooted within himself. Let's take this deeper. When you speak from that grounded place, you're not only showing emotional maturity, you're offering her a safe space to soften. When your words convey calm certainty, your energy says, I am not here to impress you, I am here to enjoy you, to experience you, to allow this connection to unfold naturally. And that attitude where you're not chasing an outcome, but embodying a process, leaves a woman craving your presence long after you've gone. You see, it's not your witty text or your clever line that makes her miss you. It's the way she felt when you spoke. Did your words and silences give her room to breathe, to feel, to imagine herself beside you? Or did they rush her, trap her, suffocate her with anxious energy? Most men speak from anxiety. Hi, Val, you men speak from abundance. There's another quality here that we must name mystery. A man who speaks as though he's an open book leaves no pages for a woman to turn when he's gone. But a man who holds back slightly, who answers just enough, who pauses and redirects gently, who knows how to offer small glimpses without revealing his entire heart at once, he leaves space for curiosity, and curiosity is the birthplace of longing. So the next time you speak to a woman, I want you to ask yourself quietly, am I speaking to impress her or to express myself? This small shift changes everything. When you express from your truth rather than perform for her attention, your words leave an echo that lingers, a subtle imprint that she will return to again and again in her mind. And the beauty of this imprint is that it doesn't rely on constant presence. It allows you to step away with grace and let her miss you in your absence. This is the art of connection without overexposure. Hi, Val, you men master this effortlessly because they understand that attraction thrives in a rhythm of closeness and distance, words and silences, presence and absence. As you practice these subtle shifts, slowing down, aligning your words with your values, speaking from grounded presence rather than validation, you will notice that women begin to respond differently. They listen more deeply, they lean in more often, and most importantly, they begin to feel your absence as meaningful. Now let's continue this journey together. So here we are, you've begun to slow things down. You're learning to speak not to impress her, but to express yourself, to communicate from a place of grounded presence, aligned with your own values. And already that's shifting everything, isn't it? But here's where most men hesitate. Even after mastering that calm, self-assured tone, they feel unsure about how much of themselves to reveal, when to open up, and when to hold back. This is where emotional attunement becomes so powerful. You see, a hive, you man is attuned, not just to his own desires and feelings, but to hers as well. He doesn't speak from a script. He listens deeply, even to what is unsaid. He notices the shifts in her gaze, her body language, the energy between them as much as the words themselves. And this brings us to something profoundly beautiful. When you speak to a woman as a hive, you man, you are not simply communicating content, you are communicating awareness. Imagine this, a woman is sharing something vulnerable. Perhaps it's a story about a disappointment or a dream she holds quietly. In that moment, most men feel the urge to jump in, to fix, to reassure, to say, don't worry, you're amazing. But what does a hive, you man, do? He slows, he listens, he lets her be in that vulnerability without rushing to rescue her, and when he does speak, it's from an understanding of how precious her sharing is. He might simply say, I can see that matters a lot to you. No advice, no fast answers, just acknowledgement. It's in these moments that a woman feels seen, not just heard, And when a woman feels truly seen, she begins to attach emotionally. That attachment is not built on flattery, it's built on presence. Now I want you to think about how this extends into everyday conversations, the kind that seem light or playful but hold the potential for deeper intimacy. When she teases, does your energy rise up nervously to match her? Or do you meet her with playful steadiness, perhaps even a hint of amused detachment? A hive, you man doesn't try to win a playful banter. He enjoys it, relishes it, but never lets it pull him out of center. That playful steadiness is intoxicating because it shows that you're not easily swayed, you're anchored even as you flirt. And this anchoring isn't just about speech, it's about emotional energy. When you're calm inside yourself, your tone reflects it. Your pauses feel natural, not contrived. Even the simplest words, "That's funny," or "Tell me more about that," carry a kind of gravity, a warmth that invites her in. Another crucial quality that you men embody in speech is selective disclosure. You don't have to reveal every detail of your past or every thought in your head to build connection. In fact, restraint can be far more compelling. When you speak selectively, you invite curiosity, and curiosity creates emotional investment. Picture this: you're sharing a story from your life, a meaningful experience, or a challenge you overcame, but you choose to reveal just enough to hint at depth without explaining every detail. You let her ask questions, you let her imagination fill in the blanks. This is the art of speaking with emotional economy, where every word matters, and where what is left unsaid is just as powerful as what is spoken. And let's not forget humor, but humor used wisely. The you man's humor isn't self-deprecating in a way that seeks pity or reassurance. It's self-aware, playful, and sometimes just dry enough to spark intrigue. When you laugh at yourself, you do it from a place of self-respect, not self-doubt. For instance, if you find yourself being teased, you might smile and say softly, "Careful, you're getting dangerously close to making me blush," not defensive. Not needy, just warm, playful acknowledgement of the dynamic spoken with a steady gaze that says you're completely at ease with yourself. This ease is everything. When a woman senses ease, she relaxes, she lets her guard down, she stops testing. Because she knows, subtly, maybe unconsciously, that you are not shaken by her energy, her beauty, her moods. You are consistent, steady, grounded. And there's one more layer here: when you speak with genuine curiosity about her world, not as a way to interview her, but as a way to explore, she feels the difference. Most men ask questions with an agenda. But you man asks because he enjoys discovering who she is, with no rush to define her, no rush to own or possess her. That curiosity feels different to her. It feels clean, open, inviting. Think about the power of simple curiosity. Instead of predictable questions like, "So what do you do for work?" imagine saying, "You seem to love what you do. What part of it excites you the most?" Notice how that question honors her energy, invites reflection, and makes her feel as though you are truly interested in her interior world, not just checking a box. All of this leads to the deeper truth. It's not about saying more, it's about saying better, fewer words, more meaning. Less performance, more authenticity, and perhaps most importantly, your speech isn't where the work begins, it's where the work shows. The high-value man who speaks this way didn't rehearse a script. He cultivated presence in his own life first by being intentional, self-aware, self-respecting. His speech is simply a reflection of that inner work. When your words come from this place, you will find that women don't just listen. They remember, and when you leave, they feel your absence in their mind, their body, and their emotions. This is how you make her miss you deeply. By now, you're already feeling the subtle but profound difference this makes. The shift from being a man who simply talks to being a man who communicates presence, steadiness, and curiosity, not to win her over, but to reveal who you are. And there's another dimension we must explore, emotional detachment, not coldness or indifference, but an easeful, elegant detachment that frees both you and her from expectation. When a man can express himself honestly while remaining unattached to her immediate reaction, it's disarming and incredibly attractive. You see, most women are accustomed to men hanging on to their every response, watching for signs of approval, waiting to adjust their behavior based on whether she's laughing, smiling, or showing interest. But a high-value man speaks as if he is already enough. His words are not fishing lines cast into a sea of approval, hoping for a bite. They are simple expressions of his reality, and when he asks her a question, he listens, but not with anxiety. He listens because he's curious, because he enjoys her presence, but her validation isn't his nourishment. This is where you must ask yourself, do I speak as a man who feels full or as a man who feels empty? Because women can sense it immediately, even if they can't name it. A man who speaks from fullness allows himself to step back after an interaction. He's not rushing to send a text the moment he gets home. He isn't filling the space with emojis or endless questions just to keep her engaged. And that brings us to one of the most underestimated qualities that makes a woman miss you badly: restraint after interaction. When you leave space after a beautiful connection, space for her thoughts, her imagination, her longing, you create an emotional contrast. It's like the difference between a song that ends on a loud crashing chord versus one that fades into a haunting silence. Which one lingers longer? A man who exercises this restraint understands that silence can be part of the dialogue. His pauses between texts, between invitations, give her a chance to feel his absence and reflect on the energy he left behind. This is not playing hard to get. It's not about games, it's about respecting the natural rhythm of attraction, closeness then space, attention then absence, and it takes confidence to trust that she will return in thought to the man who made her feel safe, seen, and intrigued. But this confidence can't be faked. It must come from a genuine place inside you, a place where you know that your value is not dependent on her immediate feedback. When you trust that you've communicated with clarity, warmth, and presence, you don't need to chase. You can step back and let her come to you, and if she does not, you know it's not a loss. It's alignment. Even your choice of words matters here. When a high-value man ends a conversation, he does so cleanly, gracefully. He doesn't leave it with vague maybe we can hang out sometime energy. He knows that clarity creates trust. So even his goodbyes carry intention. It was really good to hear your thoughts tonight. I'll see you soon. Short, grounded, sincere. You see, it's never about keeping her guessing with mixed signals or creating confusion. It's about creating space around your interactions so that when you're gone, she feels that absence as richness, not rejection. And that absence will feel rich because of what you gave her in your presence: undivided attention, emotional steadiness, respectful curiosity, and a glimpse into your centered self. So few men embody this fully. Many try bits and pieces, a pause here, a cool phrase there, but they miss that this is about embodiment. It's about how you carry yourself when you speak, how you regulate your emotions as you listen, how you convey that you are enjoying the moment, not trying to extract anything from it. And this embodied presence continues even when you're not with her. It shows in your communication after the date, in the patience with which you let things unfold, even in your willingness to wait before following up, trusting that your impact was strong enough to resonate without immediate reinforcement. That trust, that patience, that quiet confidence, this is what makes you unforgettable. A woman might not consciously think about every detail of your conversation, but she will feel it the way you made her feel, safe yet excited, respected yet challenged, attended to yet free. And when she goes home, when the silence settles around her, she will find herself replaying your words, or more precisely, the feeling your words left behind. This is what You men understand intuitively or learn consciously. Women don't miss men who talk a lot. They miss men who leave a lasting emotional imprint. They miss men whose words carried weight, whose pauses felt spacious, whose self-assurance was quiet but steady, and whose curiosity was clean and genuine. They miss men who spoke as though they needed nothing but appreciated everything. So, as you continue on this path, I invite you to experiment gently with these ideas. Next time you're speaking with a woman, notice your tempo, slow it down, notice your energy, let it settle. Notice your intentions, refine them toward curiosity, not performance, and then, when the conversation ends, allow space. Allow absence, trust that if your presence was authentic, the silence you leave behind will work for you. Because, ultimately, making her miss you badly isn't about tactics, it's about who you are when you're with her, and who you are when you're not. As we continue together, I want you to feel this in your body, not just as an intellectual exercise, but as an embodied way of being. Because what we're really talking about is the art of emotional sophistication. High-value men communicate in ways that don't simply appeal to the mind, they awaken the senses, the emotions, even the unspoken desires that many women themselves don't fully understand. One of the most overlooked aspects of this art is how you infuse desire into conversation, not with crude language or overt flirtation, but through subtle emotional tension. Think of it like music. Good conversation between a man and a woman carries rhythm, a sense of flow, but your communication has melody too. It rises and falls, builds anticipation, and leaves beautiful unresolved notes that echo long after. So how do you speak in a way that builds this kind of emotional tension? It begins with not being afraid of silence. Most men fill every space with chatter because they are uncomfortable with pauses. But a pause, especially one where your gaze is soft yet steady, where your breath slows rather than quickens, can be more erotic than any compliment. That pause says, I am completely present with you, but I am not rushing to consume you. It creates a moment where her imagination begins to work, where she starts to wonder what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and it is in this wondering that desire is born. The other layer to this is speaking with sensuality, not in words alone, but in tone. A voice that slows slightly, that leans in softly on keywords, that doesn't rush or pitch upward in search of approval, that kind of voice invites her into an intimate space. You might say something simple, that's interesting, but if it's delivered with warmth, depth, and curiosity, it carries a weight that most men's frantic praise cannot replicate. And here's the beauty, sensuality in conversation isn't about being overt, it's about energy. Even when discussing something mundane, a book, a restaurant, a childhood memory, a hive, you man can make a woman feel something, because he's feeling something. He's not distracted, he's not performing, he's savoring the connection itself. That savoring is magnetic. Women want to feel desired, yes, but more deeply, they want to feel felt. They want to know that a man is truly present with them, not just seeking his own gratification, but enjoying the dance of curiosity and discovery. And this leads us to another quiet but profound distinction. When a high-value man speaks, his words convey appreciation, not attachment. Appreciation sounds like this, I love how your mind works. Attachment sounds like this, I need to see you again soon. Do you feel the difference? Appreciation honors her uniqueness without clinging, without needing. And when you express appreciation instead of attachment, you signal emotional freedom, a quality that not only intrigues but reassures. A woman can feel that freedom. It tells her, you are special, but I am whole even without you. That energy allows her to relax into the connection, to drop any defenses, because she knows you are not there to trap or capture her, you're simply enjoying her. Now think about this. When you communicate in this way, You give her something most men cannot: emotional safety combined with gentle mystery. That combination is rare, and it's addictive. It's what creates that experience where she thinks of you at unexpected moments, where something she sees or hears reminds her of your calm presence, your tone, your way of letting things unfold without grasping or rushing. Even your choice of endings becomes part of this seduction. When a high-value man ends a conversation, he does so with grace. He doesn't apologize for leaving or over-explain. He leaves a simple, warm note: "I've enjoyed this, I'll talk to you soon," and not a vague promise, not an insecure plea, just a clean, respectful close. This kind of clarity is rare, and it makes women feel safe to miss you. Yes, safe to miss you. Because when your communication is clear, relaxed, and appreciative, it frees her mind from anxiety. It allows her longing to emerge naturally, without needing to fight off mixed signals or insecurity. And the most beautiful part, this way of communicating is not a strategy. It's a natural consequence of being a man who respects himself, a man who values connection, but is never defined by it, a man who enjoys intimacy but doesn't need to control it. That enjoyment, that savoring, that patient, playful curiosity, this is what lingers. When you step away from a conversation and let silence fall, she will feel that silence as a reflection of the depth you brought when you were present. And in that way you don't have to chase, you don't have to explain, you simply allow her to feel your absence as an echo of your presence. That's how you men speak, and that's why women miss them badly sometimes, even before they realize it themselves. So here we are deep into this dance between presence, communication, and absence. You've seen how a you man slows things down, aligns his words with his truth, listens with attunement, and allows space to invite longing. But there's something more subtle at play here, a layer that ties all of this together: your relationship with your own desire. You see, many men enter conversations with women carrying a silent but heavy burden. They speak from a place of hunger. A hunger to be seen, to be chosen, to be validated. And this hunger, even when carefully concealed, speaks louder than their words. But a man does not speak from hunger, he speaks from fullness. This is not about ego or arrogance. It's about knowing that his life is already rich, that his days are already meaningful, that his joy is already intact, and that meeting a woman, connecting with her, sharing time with her, is an enhancement to that life, not a remedy for its emptiness. That subtle shift infuses every word with ease. His questions are not desperate, they're playful. His compliments are not tools to win approval, they're spontaneous expressions of delight. And his silences, they don't feel awkward or tense, they feel comfortable, confident, and they offer her something rare: emotional spaciousness. This is why women miss men like this, because so few men know how to hold space without asking for anything in return. Imagine this: a woman remembers a conversation you had not because you overwhelmed her with flattery or clever lines, but because you made her feel at peace, safe to open up, safe to explore her own feelings, safe to enjoy the interaction without pressure or expectation. That safety combined with the mystery you maintained by not over-revealing, that's what lingers. And here's where desire deepens further. Hi, Val, you men understand the paradox that absence is essential to desire, that a woman cannot long for you if you never give her the opportunity to feel your absence. But, and this is important, that absence must be meaningful. It cannot feel like withdrawal, punishment, or manipulation. It must feel like a natural rhythm. You are present fully, and then you are absent fully. In that rhythm, she begins to associate your absence with all of the qualities she experienced when you were present: your calm steadiness, your curiosity, your quiet confidence, your playful ease. So even when you're not speaking, your energy lingers. She starts to think of you in quiet moments. She wonders what you're doing, how you're feeling, not because you told her to think about you, not because you demanded her attention, but because of how you made her feel when you spoke. This is the ultimate distinction. Words that impress the mind are easily forgotten. Words that touch the heart and soothe the nervous system, those words remain. And it's not just about what you say, it's about the energy you bring when you speak. You bring warmth without neediness. You bring curiosity without expectation. You bring honesty without oversharing. You bring sensuality without pressure. And when you leave cleanly, confidently trusting that the emotional impression you left is enough. This is not game playing, it's respect for yourself, for her, for the dance of connection. So as you walk this path, I want you to feel this deeply. Every interaction you have with a woman is an opportunity, not to win her, not to manipulate her feelings, but to embody the man you want to be. When you embody that man, your words naturally align. Your pauses naturally deepen. Your humor naturally softens tension. Your presence naturally allows her to relax. And when you step away, she will feel that absence as something rare, valuable, and worth missing. And that, my friend, that is how a high, you man speaks to a woman in a way that makes her miss him badly. Not with clever phrases or tricks, but with presence, emotional steadiness, curiosity, restraint, and the quiet but powerful understanding that you are already enough. So as you go forward, I invite you to hold this question gently within yourself. Am I speaking from fullness? Am I enjoying the moment for what it is, not for what I want it to become? Because when you do, you free both yourself and her from pressure. You allow connection to breathe, to grow, to move at its own natural pace, and that is when she will miss you most deeply. Not because you demanded it, but because she felt something in your presence that she does not easily feel elsewhere, freedom combined with safety, curiosity combined with ease, desire combined with respect. So the next time you sit across from her, remember this: you are not just offering words, you are offering your energy. You are offering your steadiness, you are offering your ability to be fully present and then to gracefully step away. That is what makes you unforgettable, and that is what makes her miss you badly.